Hello everyone, it's Andrew from TCG here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how I package and ship all of my orders and how to do it in the safest way possible and the most efficient way possible. Also, if you're new here, I have sold over $200,000 worth of Pokemon singles in the last year on eBay, and I've done that for the last 2 years. And if you need help to get to this level on eBay and TCG Player, I have a Patreon with the link in the description. Let's get started with the video. So first of all, there are two types of ways to package and ship cards. There is the plain white envelope way, and then there's a bubble mailer way. So with a plain white envelope, on TCG Player, you just use a stamp like this, and you would put the address right here, and then you would put the shipping address right here. So your address, shipping address. And I use a Dymo label printer that prints all the TCG Player labels, or not labels, but like the addresses, so that I don't have to write it down for all of them, because it's pretty time consuming when you have like 20 orders a day. But it's definitely not necessary, but if you get a lot of orders, it would be very helpful. And I'll make a video on that in the future on how to get the labels to be printed and configured with TCG Player. So that's the most simple part. And then with eBay, you just use a plain envelope, and then it will print a label like this. And I'm covering the address so that way you can't see it, but I put it specifically on this side where the flap is, so that the taped part, or like, because this is technically like a sticker, it covers the flap just in case, like, if the glue is weak, it will prevent it from opening in transit. And then for bubble mailers, it's the same way. Just cover the flap with the shipping label and get it to go. So that's how the label part works. And with eBay, you could just print the labels all at once. It's already set up for you. You just print them, put the shipping label on the package, get it out. And the way I do it is, like, this is kind of how big they are when I print them. And let's say I take this card, put it in, and then close it with the label. But I'll show you how to do it like a full way. So let's say you sold one card, like you sold this card. You would sleeve it, put it in a top loader, and then I usually just tape the top so that it won't fall out. You could use a team bag, but I think it's a little bit too expensive to do that and not that important. And so if you're selling one card, just use a top loader, put it in the thing, in the envelope, seal it like you would rip off this part, and then put the shipping label right here. So that's if you get like a one card order. It's pretty straightforward for those, but let's say you get like 5 cards at a time. So let's say someone bought these 5 cards. Assuming it's below $50 in total, you could still use the eBay plain white envelope method. So the way that the plain white envelope method works is that no single card could be more than $20, and your total order can't be more than $50. So if you fall within that range, you could ship anything in a plain white envelope. So then what I would do is you take the 5 cards, and the sleeve is opened at the top. And then you take the card saver and you put them in upside down. And the reason why you do that is so that the opening for the sleeve is facing down, so that it won't fly out of the gap here. Because I've had a lot of instances when I used to do it the other way, and it would arrive to the seller or to the customer with some cards hanging out of the sleeves. So if you put them in upside down, it will prevent that from happening. And then you just do the same thing. You put it in the envelope, close it, and then put the label. So that's basically how the plain white envelope method works. It's very simple and relatively cheap to do it that way. But let's say someone ordered 10 or more cards, or an expensive card, and it needs to be shipped with ground advantage. which is like the cheapest form of regular tracking, not eBay's tracking. So what you would do is, say they bought like all of these would be worth more than $50. So what I would do is I would take the most expensive card from that order, which would be this one, and then I would top load it. Okay, so it's top loaded, and then I would put the rest like on top of it, and then put it in a team bag like this. Then you could of course take the seal off, close it. And then an important thing to do would be take this, like I rip up ETBs and just use like the cardboard for extra protection, and I put it on top, and then I put it in a 8x4 bubble mailer like that, close the seal, and then put the label right there. So it's pretty simple, and the reason why I do that cardboard thing is it's like an extra level of protection. You don't really need to do it. Like I've shipped multiple things without doing that and there's no issues, but just in case like something heavy goes on top of it, you don't want there to be no protection at all. So, and it's basically free because ETB, like a lot of people ship me their bulk in ETBs, so I just break them down, reuse them instead of throwing them away, because you might as well utilize all the resources you can get. And the way I have it when I'm getting them ready to be packaged is sort of like this. So like I have all the labels with the item on top of it, so that way I can do all the plain white envelope orders at once and then do all the bubble mailer orders at once. And that helps a lot when it comes to doing it in the fastest way possible, because if I was switching from plain white envelope method to the bubble mailer method, like back and forth 10 times, it would take a lot of extra time. So I'd recommend doing them all at once. So get all of your plain white envelope orders finished, and then if you have the bubble mailer orders, have them all together, and then you could do that process afterwards. So you have to do it in like an assembly line type of way. Do every step all together at once instead of going back and forth between different steps, because that would be very clunky and inefficient. And if you do it like this, it'll be much quicker. And then at the end, you get a bunch of them like this. I'm hiding the labels because I don't want you guys to see that, but you get a bunch of them, and then I put it in like a little bag, and I go to the post office and just drop them off in that bin that they have. I don't go to the actual people working there and have them scan them in, because it takes way too long and it's not really necessary. I think I've done that like maybe in the first few times that I was shipping items, but it's definitely not necessary and you don't need to do that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I hope you found it helpful. Shipping is definitely a very important process with a store like this, and especially if you have a lot of items and you make a lot of orders per day, you need to have a thorough shipping process that you could do really quickly, really cheap, and really efficiently. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you all have a great day.